Buckingham Palace finally exposes true identity of Archie and Lilibet. After years of speculation, what you're about to hear is the palace's own version of events, and it's nothing like the fairy tale we've been sold. For years, whispers swirled about birth certificates, secret ceremonies, and vanishing titles. But tonight the curtains are yanked back, and the spotlight is merciless. It started the day Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor entered the world. Except the world didn't quite see him. No traditional steps of the hospital photograph, no tidy public record to match the timeline. Then, months later, Meghan quietly swapped her full name on the birth certificate for a sleek royal style, a move palace aides denied authorizing. That single edit didn't just raise eyebrows, it lit a bonfire of theories. Was she protecting privacy, repositioning legally, or signaling something deeper? Whatever the motive, that ink stroke planted doubt that refused to die, and the palace took notes. But that was only the beginning, because when a second baby arrived, the questions exploded. Fast forward to 2021 and the arrival of Lilibet Lily Diana. The birth announcement floated across the Atlantic from sunny California with soft focus photos and heartfelt quotes. Yet no UK hospital, no royal press office confirmation, no archbishop with a fountain pen in sight. Online sleuths zoomed in on video calls, noting a bump that seemed to shrink and swell between appearances. Rumors piled up faster than tabloids could print them, and the palace maintained a glacial silence. To royal watchers, that silence thundered louder than any denial, hinting the crown was quietly building a case. Behind those gilded gates, the crown was dusting off a century-old rule, the 1917 letters patent. In plain English, it says only grandchildren of a monarch in the direct male line, plus the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, automatically become princes or princesses. Bloodline, legitimacy, and formal royal oversight are non-negotiable. According to palace lawyers, Archie and Lilibet tick some boxes but miss others, especially the requirement of a birth registered under royal supervision. Translation: their titles rest on sand and the tide is coming in. But that wasn't the whole story, because protocol collides with emotion, and emotion has a name: Harry. Harry, once the rebel prince, reportedly rang relatives in the small hours begging for a rethink. Friends claim he offered to fly back, sign papers, even endure public scrutiny if it saved his children's place in the lineage. But the monarchy wasn't negotiating feelings, it was guarding the institution. A senior aide allegedly replied, "This is about order, not emotion," before ending the call. That ice-cold line marked the moment the palace chose crown over kin, and Harry's world shrank to voicemail echoes. And what happened next would shock everyone who thought the drama had peaked. For Meghan, the consequences cut deeper than protocol. Her post-palace brand, spanning podcasts, documentaries, and a glossy lifestyle line, is anchored to the image of a modern duchess raising little royals under California sunshine. Without titles, the allure shrinks. Hollywood insiders whisper that lucrative deals are quietly being reevaluated. After all, a former actress is compelling, but a duchess is box office gold. If the royal link evaporates, so does the premium. Yet the palace was only warming up, sharpening its quills for a strike that would leave ink and devastation in equal measure. Meanwhile, Buckingham Palace prepared a legal package colder than Windsor stone. Draft documents revoke HRH styling, withdraw security funded by the sovereign grant, and erase the children's positions from the official order of precedence. Once ink meets vellum, it's irreversible. Insiders call it a surgical correction, a phrase that leaves no room for fairy tale endings. But there was still more brewing beneath those chandeliers, a christening controversy poised to sever the final thread. There's another twist. Reports claim Lilibet's christening in California never met Church of England requirements. Without that sacrament, her path to the crown, however distant, fades to a footnote. Royal historians note that every Windsor for over a century was baptized under Anglican rites on British soil. Break the chain, break the claim. Yet Meghan's team counter-programmed with curated family clips and garden party imagery, hoping aesthetics might eclipse legalities. The palace didn't blink, it consulted constitutional experts instead, turning pages older than radio. Across the Atlantic, breakfast shows lit up with pundits scrambling to decode the palace statement. American anchors gasped at the possibility that Archie and Lilibet, both born on US soil, could hold dual identities yet belong fully to neither nation's mythology. immigration lawyers popped up on cable news, reminding viewers that if the children are stripped of UK royal status, their US citizenship becomes the dominant thread, and with it, the mundane realities of passports, taxes, and jury duty. Overnight, royal drama slid into civics class. British tabloids, never ones to miss a feeding frenzy, rolled out banner headlines invoking the ghost of Wallace Simpson and a second abdication crisis. Columnists debated whether Harry had, in effect, repeated his great-uncle's mistake, choosing love and exile over duty and dynasty. Social media predictably erupted. Hashtags split into rival camps. Justice for Archie trending beside Not Protect the Crown, each firing memes, think pieces, and amateur legal briefs into the void. Yet inside Whitehall, ministers sipped tea and stayed silent. The Crown, sensing that reluctance, timed its move perfectly. Historians drew comparisons to 1999, when Parliament hurriedly amended succession laws to address another legitimacy issue involving Lord Mountbatten's descendants. But this time, there is no appetite for rescue bills. Public trust in monarchy is fragile after years of scandal, and lawmakers are keen to avoid being seen as royal fixers. The Crown, sensing that reluctance, timed its move perfectly. Quietly, the palace also signaled a review of its security allocations. If Archie and Lilibet are outside the royal fold, the Metropolitan Police no longer foot the bill for round-the-clock protection. Insiders say discussions with private firms are underway, costs projected in the millions annually. For the Sussex household, that's another financial weight at a moment when every contract is being renegotiated. None of these ripples, however, change the central fact. A handwritten signature will redefine two childhoods. That signature, royal historians note, carries more force than any speech because it lives in archives where sentiment cannot reach. Once the ink dries, the debate moves from "will it happen" to "how did it ever come to this?" Even seasoned courtiers admit they have never seen a royal recalibration delivered with such chilling precision, nor witnessed consequences unfold so swiftly afterward before. All of this lands at the worst possible moment. Meghan's new venture, American Riviera Orchard, was poised to launch with the soft glow of royal prestige. Now the foundation beneath the brand is cracking. Investors love a fairy tale, but they hate uncertainty. If Archie and Lilibet morph from prince and princess into plain master and miss, the story loses its sparkle, and sparkle is expensive. Harry's turmoil is equally grim. He imagined handing his children a bridge between two worlds, royal heritage and Californian freedom. Instead, he's watching that bridge collapse, stone by genealogical stone. Friends say he walks the Montecito lanes at dawn, phone in hand, drafting messages he never sends. Each unsent text is a reminder that blood alone doesn't overrule protocol. As the paperwork nears completion, veteran courtiers whisper that this isn't retaliation, it's restitution. They argue the monarchy spent 5 years absorbing accusations, racism, neglect, emotional cruelty, without formal rebuttal. Stripping titles is their counter-statement, delivered not through interviews but by reshaping the ledger of history. Yet the decision ripples far beyond two young children. Future royal communications will cite Archie and Lilibet as the moment the crown drew a digital red line. Either live inside the rules or live outside the frame. For generations, titles have been shields and shackles. The palace just showed it can remove both with a stroke of a pen. Here's the chilling part. Once the letters are sealed, there is no appeals process. Parliament could intervene, but constitutional scholars insist it won't. Political capital is scarce, and few voters lose sleep over descendants who will never reign. The Sussexes gambled on public sympathy, the palace gambled on public apathy. Right now, the odds favor the throne. And so the story arcs toward an ending as quiet as it is devastating. The same palace that welcomed Meghan with trumpets at St. George's Chapel now edits her children out of royal spreadsheets. No raised voices, no televised scolding, just the soft scratch of a fountain pen writing two young names into ordinary life. But here's the final twist. By removing the titles, the crown may have freed Archie and Lilibet from a lifetime of tabloid glare. Without HRH, they can attend school without bodyguards, make mistakes without headlines, choose careers without protocol. In stripping status, the palace may have offered protection the parents never could. That irony lingers like cold air in the long library. Meghan might rebrand again, Harry might write another memoir, yet the monarchy's message stands. Titles are loaned, not owned, and the lender always keeps the receipt. Whether you see that as justice or cruelty depends on which fairy tale you believed in the first place. So, as the quills return to their inkwells and the documents disappear into climate-controlled vaults, one reality remains unaltered. The crown moves slowly, but when it moves, the earth under Buckingham Palace shifts. Tonight it shifted beneath 2 little feet in California, reminding the world that in the oldest game of power, castles still matter more than knights.